Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you looking for an escape? Maybe just for an hour to laugh, cry, roll your eyes, or even just have a minute to yourself.
Or ever just want to embrace your feminine side. And what better way to do that than have the color pink riding shotgun, as pink isn't just a color, it's a state of mind. Thanks, Audrey Hepburn, for that quote.
Then look no further. Introducing the new podcast, Truth and Pink.
We're Sarah and Channa, 1979 Gen X, strong. But more Zennials, that forgotten little slice of Gen X with just enough millennial edge to know what TikTok is.
But way too cool to care. All right.
So now
back for part 2. Okay, can we shiv it?
Yes, I want to hear this incredible topic that you have.
So it's come up.
Is it juicy?
So it's come up, and now this was something that was Jeffrey and I in the very beginning. And now it's coming up in another friend's relationship, and it's causing some conversations between Jeffrey and I. So I was like, all right, I want to talk it out. So
okay, come on, truth babes. Let's give her what she needs.
So, in a relationship, can a relationship work if your core values are different?
Okay, I guess it would depend specifically on what the core value is that you're referring to.
Right. So again, I don't want to get political, but I think part of the problem in today's atmosphere is the polarity of everything.
There's so much polarization. Oh
right?
My gosh.
I go, okay, it's this way. And then you go, it's this way. And you aren't willing to budge and I'm not willing to budge. And so there's no give and take. Like there used to be some, okay, I believe this, but
and then
let's
compromise
meet in the middle.
Right.
Now there's no compromising. It's like, I have to be this way and I have to be this way. And it's insane to me. But because I find myself straddling the fence. I'm just, at this point in my life, I am a fence straddler, but I wasn't like that. I was raised one way, and then I started dating somebody who was raised the opposite. And rather than, I never conformed to him, but it kind of opened my eyes to things.
Sure.
And he would put me in situations and say, okay, you believe this. Now, how would you feel if this happened to you, or this happened to your daughter, or this happened to your son? And he would kind of force my mind into those situations where I would go, wow, okay, you're right. If I was in this situation, or my child were in this situation, or if this happened or whatever, then I do see that there's a need, or I'm glad that this is available, or I like this kind of a thing, or whatever it may be, right? So he forced the conversation, he forced the thought process. So instead of me just digging in my heels and going, no, I thought about it and I went, okay, you know what? Cool. So we kind of met somewhere in the middle, right? We still don't believe the same exact things, but it's okay, right?
Sure.
So we have some friends that don't like he's kind of digging his heels in and saying no, and she's kind of digging her heels in and saying no, and then there's no meeting in the middle. And I'm like, but why? And Jeffrey's like, I guess if there's look, friends can be like that, right?
Sure.
Because right, we can be opposites and okay, and it's okay, and I can go, okay, Sarah's doesn't believe what I believe, but it's okay. We just don't. There's some things that we just don't talk about, right?
Well, and I disagree with that. I think we do talk about it, but we approach it in a respectful way.
Sure.
And you might be passionate about something and I'll listen, but I'm going to be equally passionate. But it doesn't destroy our friendship over it.
Right.
However, though, you and I aren't raising kids together. So I could see where there might be some conflict because you say you don't want to talk politics, but that's sort of the crux of it, because depending on what side you are on, is your core beliefs, and that's where it becomes political, right? So you can be as open-minded as you really, really want to be, but somewhere deep down, you're either not feeling aligned, or it's going to be, you're going to start doubting yourself and everything because you just don't know what's going on, which you don't want to be in that boat either. Especially when it comes to kids, though, I think there does need to be a level of either agree to disagree. But again, how do you raise children with values and core things if you don't align?
Right.
That's a really, really tough one. So let me ask you this.
I know I'm almost being too vague because I'm trying not to, but although
Uh,
I don't think either of them listen to the pod, so I could probably
That's
completely
okay.
be open and
Without
honest.
specifics, though, let me ask you this. Are there underlying issues in their marriage that have made this sort of like the forefront of what they're like? Are they already sort of in I don't want to say trouble, but is there already some underlying conflict or things that haven't been resolved
So I
that
feel like
this is
there was like a recent couple month development, but it's been resolved. But that was like the very first big conflict because they're not married. They're just they've been together for a couple years.
okay?
Um, just moved in like within the last year. So again, now they're dealing with, okay, we just moved in together and now you really get to see somebody and really get to see their habits and you really get to see all of that, right? And because when you're not living together, you're still kind of in the honeymoon phase because you don't actually see their habits. Oh, but I'm staying over at her house all the time. Yeah, but you still have your space that you go back to.
Yeah, you still
It's
don't see the messy parts.
completely different when you move in with somebody. Like this is why I hate what, my parents, oh, you can't have sex and can't do was until you're married and move in together. Like that is so archaic. And yes, whatever, but you don't know
She's
people's, ha-
you
you
don't.
don't
But
know
I
people's
will
habits and
say,
you don't know the good and the bad and the ugly. And you go like, you can't get
you're right.
that from
You're right.
just,
And I will say, and this is over across any religion that you might believe in, no matter what it is, Buddhist, whatever, it seems to be a parallel theme across whatever it is, that you should be what they call equally yoked. Whether that means your faith, whether that means your values, there should be some sort of alignment there.
right.
Because it's also, you have to stay true to yourself at some of these things. And even like you being open-minded and coming around and being like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. I feel like I can get on board with that. There
Right.
still might be something, and I think this would be the conversation with them would be, is one person shrinking and being smaller so the other person can feel, you know, they're right or they're okay? Or is one person shrinking so they just keep the peace? Like that's where you get into trouble, not being true to yourself.
But that's where I think that neither one of them are willing to shrink for the other.
Then I don't think it's
I think, yeah,
but
I
you
think
shouldn't have to, and you shouldn't
that's
have
the
to shrink
problem.
though.
No,
That's the
but
point.
there's no compromise either. And like
Yeah.
the compromise is like, um, like he's like, look, I'm nice to everybody. I'm nice to everybody. I don't agree with what people are doing. I don't agree with, um, like trans. Okay, I don't agree with that. And it's fine because you're either biologically male or female, right? And he's like, so 1 + 1 is 2. You can never tell me that 1 + 1 is 3. Now, if you want to feed into their delusions that 1 + 1 is 3, that's fine. I don't care if that's what you believe, but I will never feed into that delusion. I will be nice to that person. I will be kind to that person. That person will never know that I don't believe that 1 + 1 is 3. But I don't believe it, and I won't feed into the delusion. So I will never call that person, I will call that person by their name. I will not call that person a they or them.
So
I will
this
call
is
that person
somebody
by
that
their
they
name.
know that's in their circle, or
It's like a way person, and so like
and on
so
her side or his side?
it's on her side.
Okay. And she says what? She wants to what? Like make him admit that like
No, she just is like, I just don't understand why you can't address them the way they want to be addressed because that you're just being kind.
so
You're
we're
just
talking
being
about
kind.
call-outs.
It doesn't hurt anybody for you to be kind. And he's like, but it does hurt the world because you're feeding into somebody's delusions that is not correct. And I sit here and I was like, I'm torn in two different directions because as a practitioner, I have to address people the way they want to be addressed,
Sure.
right? So if Sam wants to be
Professional
Susie,
standard.
I have to call Susie. I have to call Sam Susie, right? Um, but I also have to treat them their biology. So
Right.
it's just a slippery slope that we're in. And I just sit here and I was like, okay,
But this
but
is at the crux of what they're like.
she
At
like they're both he's like, look at I don't know what you want me to do. I am kind and it's just this big thing and I just sit here and I go, okay, well, can we have a difference of opinions? Can we believe two different things and still be okay? And
I guess it depends on what the other person is really wanting the outcome to be,
yeah,
because we all should be kind no matter what
right,
we're dealing
right.
with, period. So that
Mhm.
that shouldn't even be need to be said out loud. Um, and especially if it's reflective in how he is treating said person, right?
Right.
So that shouldn't even be need to why is this something that she's wanting to die on the mountain for?
'Cause
Um,
I don't know, because I sat here and I was like, "Okay." So then of course, I talked to Jeffrey about it, and Jeffrey's like, "Look it, if you have a friend that believes something opposite, look it, we can have good banter back and forth, and then we can hang up the phone and be done." Right? And I don't think that like, I might think you're an idiot, but I don't say that to you. I might say that to my person, but again, but if your person doesn't believe in the same core things that you do, and again, back to like, some of these things you don't realize about a person until you move in with them and until you're out of that honeymoon phase. Because
right.
when you're first with somebody, you're having fun and you don't see all of the things. And it takes you being with them 24/7 for you to see those things. And so, yeah, I was like, I just don't see that it's a big deal. And Jeffrey goes, but I see it's a big deal. So I was like, okay. But
A
it
big
sparked
big
big
deal compared to
conversations.
what? Like, that means that's the end of the relationship?
Quite possibly.
Yeah,
Like,
and
if
that's okay, though. If that's not something she can live with,
yeah.
then she's drawing a hard boundary, and he's saying,
Mhm.
"I can't meet you at your boundary," then
Right.
they've already established this is not something that we can get past. Why drive yourself crazy with it?
True. So again, this goes back to, like, what you and I had talked about. Of course, this is, like, bringing up past trauma with, me. Not trauma just in terms of, like, oh my gosh, what do you do when your person wants to is not feeling the same way you do and you're having some
Well,
turmoil in the relationship?
so let's change what the thing is, and this is not to make fun of it or to minimalize it in any way, but let's just change the narrative and see if we come to a different outcome.
Okay.
So let's say she's very, very, and not that any man in his right mind would say no to this, but she's very, very passionate and wants to have a three-way or an orgy or something like that, but they're in a committed relationship. And he's like, I see your point, but I'm not gonna cross that boundary. Does that change the relationship? See, it does for me.
Right. Is this right? Okay, so like sure, you get to know your person and then they start opening up to you and they say this is my boundary, this is what I want, this is how I feel. I need you to meet me somewhere. And then the other person goes, "Okay, well this is my boundary, this is my feelings, this is my thing." And sure, you need to have some sort of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And if there is no
What's
meet
the
in the
middle on
middle,
that conversation?
we can have a 2.5.
See, yeah, and see, to me, there's no room in my relationship for anyone else. But I'm just trying to you see what I'm trying to do, though? I'm trying to play
Sure,
the
sure, sure,
card
sure.
differently to see, because you keep saying, I don't think it's a big deal. Jeffrey's saying this is a really big deal. And again, that's why I go back to what exactly was the core value. So now we know what it is. That
Mhm.
seems to be a hard line for her that she's drawing.
Right.
He's like, I'm treating, this person kind. I'm doing, I'm being around this person. I have no hate in my heart, but this is
Mhm.
what I can do. If she can, and I'm not sure either one is being unreasonable.
Right.
However, you know, they have to align. They have
Yeah.
to align. So I
Because
would
I
say
just
yes, they have to have
some sort of
some sort of alignment.
similar
Yes.
alignment.
Regardless of which side you choose, there
Mhm.
has to be alignment in that.
Yeah. All right. Because yeah, I've been, because again, it's started this huge conversation with Jeffrey and I, and I'm just like,
Well, what did
yeah.
he say? I mean, other than that it was a big deal. What does he say that's it? Where this should be over?
So that's like his thing is again, it's okay for your friends to have different core values because you're not living with them because that's not your person.
You're not
But
building a life with them.
right, but if your person doesn't align, then that's a big deal.
Yeah,
And then that causes people to not feel attracted to the other person
I
anymore.
agree. I
Like
do
I
agree
feel
with that.
like it's unattractive for you, or I am not attracted to you if your core value is so different than mine. That to me makes you, I don't want to say ugly, but and so yeah, sure. I think about like the very beginning when politics came up with Jeffrey and I, and we were just so different. And I like there was like I would feel bad and upset that I was being attacked for the way I felt. And
Mm.
then I'm not good at like defending certain things, but that's
You
also
just know what
because
you feel.
yeah, and that was it. Like he's like, "Well, tell me why." Okay, fine. If that's how you feel, tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. And I was like, "Stop fucking telling me
Yeah,
to
that's not
explain myself. I shouldn't have to explain myself to you." But again, as adults and thinkers, yes, I should be able to explain why I feel the way I do.
yeah.
And I think that I just never really sat down and thought about it. I think it was just part of what I was raised. And so
Sure.
I
But that's
never
a
really.
completely different issue, though. That's something that you're willing to be, like you said, you're on the fence because depending on what the issue is, you could go either way. It has to
Yeah.
be very individualized, right?
Hmm.
So, and that could just be you, and that's okay too. I mean, we're all different. We all don't,
Yes.
and I would say most of us should approach a sensitive topic in that way. Let
Hmm.
me know because none of us can know all the facts about something, right?
Right.
None of us can. But we hear
Right.
something and it trigger and we're like, "Oh,
Sure.
I either agree or I disagree with that." Doesn't mean
Right.
we have to write a dissertation on why or why not.
No, and that
It's
was my
just
thing is
in
that was
us.
exactly I was like, I shouldn't have to write. I shouldn't have to explain myself, but he was putting me in a place of, he was, like, backing me in a corner.
Yeah,
So
that's
it made me feel like some kinda way, right?
yeah,
Um, but I had learned this about him. But then I was like, "Okay, but I go to school and
right.
I hear something or I'm taught something and then I'm taught to back it up, like back it up with evidence.
Yes.
I can't just go, 'Oh, this person has a UTI.' I have to back it up with evidence."
Sure. But
I
some people are
I
just more
feel like
articulate.
maybe this person. You're right, and so it
Not saying that you're
really
not
made me
articulate.
no, but it made me do a deep dive as a person as well. Why do I feel
And
this
why do
way?
you believe that?
Do I
Yeah.
feel this way only because my parents taught me this way and
We
because
should
I've heard
all be
them
doing
talk like this?
that.
I just never again, I lived in the bubble,
Sure.
and so my husband popped the bubble and said, "Get out of the bubble and be your own person and think outside of the bubble." And I went, "Okay." And then when I started actually thinking about it and got not getting defensive,
Sure.
then I
Some things were
actually
revealed.
yeah, so I was like, "Okay, interesting."
But we should always I mean, you know, when the kids and I do like the Socratic method discussion and I'm trying to get, and we go round and round, they have these exercises of, you know, for example, the last one we did was a whale was caught under the ice and that's all they give you. And then you're like, okay, you write down that. And then the next step is, well, the whale was caught under the ice because a big ship came in. and that's all you get. And then it's next, the whale was under the ice because of the big ship, but the big ship had to get through and run over the whale because the people on the ship hadn't eaten forever, and now they're going hungry.
They're going to die.
And then it was, oh, but the whale has I don't know that they call them cubs, whatever the off calf. There you go. So why is it okay to kill the whale? They have a calf. They're just in their natural habitat. But here comes this boat with the people on it that are starving, and who has the right to life? And so it's like all of these discussions that we get in. And I bring all that up to say the best thing that we can do with any of us is question everything.
Sure.
Question where that feeling comes from. Question why it is you feel this way. There's no wrong answer necessarily, but it is dependent on, are you willing to go to war over that? Or are you willing to have that conversation and agree to disagree?
And I think that, although I don't think Jeffrey's mind has changed much, but I do think that I have moved him a little bit more. I mean, he definitely helped me. I don't want to say helped. He opened my mind and this and that and the other. So I think that I moved more centrist. And he budged a little, but it all came back to like we could have conversations and we could compromise and we could say, okay, I see your point.
Well, that's the key right there. You just answered your own question. That's the key right there, right?
You're able. Your point. Damn. Okay.
You just answered.
Here is done.
Right. And nothing to that couple, especially because they're newly together. But I would take that more as, if this is a point of contention now, imagine going forward, other things that it's not even on your radar right now, how that is going to affect you.
Okay.
If you're not able to move to the middle, then.
Next.
Okay.
Later to
Spit it
this.
up.
Do we think that maybe they just need more tools in their toolbox to help get through it? Do we think that going to a therapist and maybe having a mediator help you see that there is some middle ground?
But what is the middle ground? Who will have to concede? So here's the thing. You can have all the tools in the world, but if that's used as far as making somebody, again, feel less than, or gaslighting them into changing their mind or something like that, you couldn't have any tools that are going to change. And again, I'm not saying either of them is wrong or right.
No,
I'm just saying they have a right to feel exactly how they do and eat in this instance.
Sure.
And
so now it's just a matter of,
and what's going to happen is if one doesn't cave, if one doesn't go, because unless they both move to the middle like you and Jeffrey did, it's going to cause resentment. It's going to cause, it's going to be a tit for tat thing. Well, I moved for this topic. Now you need to move for me on this topic. Yeah.
So I definitely see what you're saying. And yes, that's a big thing. I just didn't think that it was like such a big deal because again, I'm not, I guess because I was willing to, it's not like I felt like I compromised. I just was, my eyes were opened to different opinions that I was like, okay, that tracks.
But also, and not that we're sticking our heads in the sand, but our world has moved so much farther than politics. We've sort of accepted that we're not in that part of what makes our life better, or what, makes, the things that we want to decide for ourselves and the things that we want to go do in our life, the things that we want to make, your health clinic, all of these things. That's a very small part for you and I. Used to be a big part for me. I've since asked myself why and moved on with all that. But
because it's so depressing.
It is.
It's so fucking depressing.
Well, and, for me and my faith, I don't look for the government to solve the issues of humanity. I just don't. And so
I don't. So it's not sticking your head in the sand. It's not that. It's just choosing my peace.
Yeah. I don't mean I don't have an opinion or that I'm not paying attention to what's going
100%,
on. But it's not consuming me to the point.
Emotions.
Right. Well, and it's not consuming me to the point where I'm destroying relationships over it.
Yeah, I don't want to, it's sad and it's terrifying and it's upsetting, and I'm like, why do I wanna give that my energy?
I don't. I
This
don't.
is
I
me
used to.
in my
I used
protect
to.
my peace era,
Yeah.
okay?
100%. 100%. Because it touches everything. And again, for me, I'm not looking to the government to solve any problem
Yeah.
on a spiritual, physical, like any level. I am not looking to the government. I
Yeah.
mean,
No. I and I guess I don't wanna stick my head in the sand, but also I need to live my life and be happy with my family and
yeah.
create, something good and kind and wonderful
And
on this
some might
end.
call them small minded. Some might say that's being small minded. I don't care what you're gonna label it, to me, it is protecting peace. It
Mhm.
actually also lets up all of this brain space, not that I have a ton, but it lets up my brain space to take up more creative things, to focus on other
Yes.
things. I mean,
Mhm.
I've been vocal about, we homeschool. There's reasons why we homeschool.
Right.
We do have values and alignment that I want for my children. But again, like I just talked about, in that way, I want them to challenge me. I want them to say, wait a minute, what about this? And
Yeah.
sometimes they do. Sometimes they get me. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Those little shits.
But what's that?
I said those little shits.
Right, right. But
Damn it.
to me, it's really conflict resolution is what I think people are afraid of. I think they're afraid to even see being open-minded where that might take them because they've gripped on so tightly to whatever this is.
Mhm.
And somehow if they do let it go or they do budge or they do move just a little bit, somehow that makes them less than.
It's like you said, like, it's dying on that hill, and I just don't
I
I think I realized that it wasn't I don't wanna say it wasn't that important, but, like,
It is
I don't
important.
need
Right. We
it's
live in this
important, but
world.
I
It's
was like,
important.
I didn't need to die on that hill,
Right.
like,
Right.
okay,
It's an important
I can
part
meet in
that
the valley.
I put it in a box and,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and then I
um,
choose to do different things if those kind of things affect me, like homeschooling, like doing like those are the things I have control over of that
right.
I can fix that and change that. And, there's this stigma where homeschool kids are weird or whatever. And it's like,
I
I
love your fucking kids,
you. I happen to love them too.
and if they're little weirdos and I'm just blind to it, then you know
But see,
what?
that's the thing, though. They're
I
able to have a conversation with an adult. They make
Yeah.
eye contact. They're able to speak up and ask for what they want. Some of the, and I'm not saying all of them because I don't know every little kid, but I don't see that level of respect or confidence in most of the kids their age. And that's
I know.
just, and that
Social
just goes to
media
well being. That just
social
goes to
media
well
is
being. Yeah.
ruining the
Yes.
kids. Ruining,
So,
ruining.
do you feel
Um,
better about your question?
yeah, just because again, I think I needed to spark some conversation with somebody else. Also and just sort of kind of hear, because it really made me think.
Yeah.
And then again, because I was able to parallel it to my
Sure.
life and the beginning of my relationship with Jeffrey and how different we were. And yet now we still are different, but yet we have this middle ground. And
I think the middle ground is, again, not to be wishy-washy, again, not to make yourself smaller. It's if
yes,
you truly came to an epiphany or the light bulb came on and you're like, "Ah, you know what? That does make sense. What
yeah,
the heck?" But if these two, and it doesn't sound like they can, and
if
again,
there
none of
is
it,
no, yeah.
there's not a right or wrong. It's just
Mhm.
what can you get to the middle on? And if you can't, I
Sure.
would say someone needs to find another place to live before it's too late, before you're
Oh,
stuck
right, right,
with
right,
all
right.
of it.
Yes.
Especially if
Um,
they're bringing it to you that seems like it's a conflict that's out in the open and
well,
affecting
they're
them.
both my friends, and
Yeah.
so I hear from both of them,
Yeah.
and
That
I
it's
can't be a
affecting them on.
mediator. Yeah, it is, and it makes my heart
Yeah, it's
sad,
sad. It's sad. But better to find out now. Yeah,
right?
or maybe it isn't sad. Maybe each of them are having to learn to stick up for themselves. Maybe each of them are having to learn that these boundaries matter to me, whether
Yeah.
we don't see that or not. It matters to them.
Mhm.
And then they need to
And so maybe they're both learning something about
honor that, honor
themselves
themselves.
or
Yeah.
something that you didn't think was important, like in a partner. Now you realize
Now
that
it
is
is. Yeah.
important in a partner, because I don't think that I ever would have gone into a relationship going, excuse me, what are your core beliefs, right? But
So can I
and
see
I
who you
don't
voted for last
yeah,
election?
I don't expect that either of those two are going to do that if moving forward, if perchance they don't make it. But now, like, it's going to be a big deal
Yeah, it is.
moving forward
If
for
they can
them
move
to be like,
forward.
okay, like, yeah. So, all right, let's shift it really quick, because what
Okay.
I really want to hear is about your peace and your fun and your distractions, and how you're doing. Like, how's your mental space? How is your physical flow, playful self? What is
The the
happening?
flow is flowing and not in the bad way. No,
Is
it's
she making you
a pop in
that
that
booty?
booty. It is. I actually spoke to her at length last night. Her name is Valerie. She created this hip hop tribe, is what it's called. She actually created it for absolute new beginners of having no idea about dance, but just to bring women together and men too. I think I've had one, maybe two guys in the class at some time, but she's
Love
creating
that.
this space that just um it's okay, you're not doing it perfect. The fact is you're doing it.
Yeah.
And just
You're
in that,
showing up
showing up.
and having a good time,
It is a great
letting
time.
go of the bullshit. And that's also, you want to know what else it teaches you? Because again, you're self-conscious, you don't feel great, you, like we talked about, like, again, we look at ourselves in the mirror and we go, you're your own worst critic. And you go there and you learn to let go of the bullshit.
The bullshit is gone. Yes.
And that's amazing, because
Yes.
you want to know what that does? Lowers your fucking cortisol.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Okay, sorry,
I'm
I stole your
trying.
thunder. Keep going.
No, 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 no. It's everything. Um, being able to wake up in what I felt like was really, I don't want to say depression, but it was definitely brain fog. I wasn't focused on anything. I mean, yes, I'm doing my business, I'm doing my podcast. Yes, I have those things, but I was like just going through the motions
Yeah.
in a way. I was just, I would only allow myself this much to do, and if I accomplished that, then it was like, great, I did this much, and that was good enough. And now it's not good enough anymore. And now I'm okay with saying yes and, doing golf tournaments and going to this day and just meeting new people.
Ugh.
So this one girl, her name's Bridget. I total girl crush on her. She's just amazing. And she's been doing it for a while. And she just has, and it's not in a, I have to be really careful because you don't want to get into the, I don't give a fuck about anything, because that's not true. I do. But it's the attitude in which you bring of where you're like, what I'm not caring about is because it was wasting my time. And I don't have the time to focus that on that anymore. Now I'm focusing on, you know, joy and movement. Can we just
Mhm.
say how much joy there is in movement, whatever you're doing? And
Girl, why do you think I love writing so
y-
much?
I oh my god.
Ugh.
And even Valerie saying, the instructor, she talks about being able to comprehend a short choreographed dance and your synapse is like growing because you're learning these moves. I am not saying at all that I am not even decent. But last night something happened where, looking back on my first time showing up, dude, I was all left feet and thumbs. Like there was no doing anything.
And
But
now
and now I'm
you
not
got
saying
some
it.
rhythm?
Well, not only rhythm, and I don't even think it was an easy choreograph last night, but I got it. I was like,
Great.
oh, I'm not tripping over my feet. And it was, so then she talks about now you have to, change your expression. No longer the deer in the headlight of trying to, remember your steps. Now you have to, and she's always talking about,
Get attitude in your face.
attitude and large movements and like snapping it. So I was like snapping my arms and making it
Yes.
intentional.
Yes.
And
Oh
so
my
that
gosh,
was
that's
so much fun. It was so much
amazing.
fun. It was so much fun.
Please tell me that after your 8 weeks, you're going to continue.
I am, well, so the last 2 weeks, so I won't be able to attend next week because I'm going to
Because
Texas,
you're going to
but
be in Texas.
the week after that will be the last week. And then she does a whole thing where you get to be in her dance video, which I had said at the beginning, there's no way I'm doing that. Partly because I was like, I don't want to ruin their video. And now I'm like, I might be in the video. Like, it's kind of exciting just to see the
Look
transformation
at your
and
growth.
growth, 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 growth.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that makes my heart swell.
Yeah, you're so supportive. So tell me, I know it's not a happy, well, maybe a happy story, but you didn't get to do your dance pole
So I
class.
didn't get to do the pole class. Okay, and so part of class pass is on the first month when you're doing the trial, not all of the locations are available to you. And I didn't realize that that was like, because it let me click the notify me button. So I was like, okay, notify me if it comes available. Well, the day of, my girlfriend was like, there's like two spots available. I don't know why it's not letting you. And so then I like reached out to the studio and they're like, yeah, it's not available to class pass until you're like a full-fledged paid membership.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places that are like that, and that's fine. And I was like, cool, so what is it for a drop-in class? She's like, well, a first timer, you've got to pay this fee, blah, blah, blah. I was like, $40. And I was like, I don't want
For
to pay
what?
$40
No.
for like
Yeah.
a drop-in fee. Like I'm not going to do that. So, but I am still absolutely loving class pass. So um, the small bummer about ClassPass in the first month is that you can't go visit. I might have said this before. You can't go visit the same place
The
twice. And
same place.
it's because they want you to experience
Experience.
all the different
That
places.
makes sense.
So the hard part about that is that it takes me, like, I'm not even kidding, like 45 minutes to figure out where I want to go and what I want to do, because now they're new, it's new. So I'm like, okay, so I'm having to read through each of the classes and go, okay, which class do I want to do? And some of them are these reformers, and let me tell you how much I'm really liking the reformers. But some of them are like too like advanced classes. So they're like, you need to, like, I'm like, yes, I want to do that class. But then in the instructions, it's like, you can't do this class unless you've had like 5 to 10 reformer classes underneath you. And I'm like, well, but I'm really athletic and
But I can do
can
it.
do it. But I don't want to be the athletic girl that thinks she can do it and then can't.
Oh,
So
that's bullshit. I know you can do it.
So
I
I'm
think that's bullshit.
respecting the instructions. And so the hardest part is just finding these new places. So I found one this afternoon. I'm going to do, I'm also loving the boot camps. Like they have like the HIT boot camps and stuff. So I'm loving the boot
Yes.
camps.
What are you doing today?
I'm doing a boot camp.
Is
I
it
don't,
specific like booty boot camp or just
nope, it's just a boot camp. Tomorrow I'm doing a booty reformer class. So I'm excited about that one.
now
And then,
then
yeah.
you can pop your booty. Although you
And
never had a problem with
Yeah.
that.
And then Sunday, it's my girlfriend. I've talked about her Ortal's birthday. Well, it was her birthday this last week. And she wanted to do like this wellness retreat.
Another February baby.
Yeah, she's the 17th. And so she wanted to do like this wellness retreat. And I was like, I love that for you. I cannot get away, but if you can go do it. So she found this place out here that's like I don't want to say like a wellness center, but it's like for lack of a better word, it's a cute little wellness center. So for like $140, she set aside, it's like 2.5 hours for us each to go. And we're all going to get like a group Pilates class. And
Wow.
then like they're going to do a sound bath for all of us. And then we each get our own I think half hour. We could either do massage, acupuncture, or facial.
Yes, normalize this. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Right? And I was like, so we get
Normalize
to be there for
this.
like 2.5 hours for 140. It's $140. And we get to do like a good, it's like it's for our own little group.
Yeah,
And I thought, oh
I
my
love
gosh,
that.
this is great. I would have done acupuncture if I had more time, but I was like, I'm sorry, I've done acupuncture.
Sure.
Where are they going to put needles? They're just going to be like, oh, I don't know you. I'm just going to put the needles here. No, there
Right.
is a method and a madness
Right.
behind
Right.
acupuncture.
Right.
You don't know me.
Do it right.
We need a half hour for you to just get to know me, to decide what you need, what my body needs. So
Right.
I was like, a half hour is not enough for an acupuncture session. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to do.
This isn't like a mobile IV where you pick your cocktail and you just like.
Yeah. So I was like, as much as I absolutely adore acupuncture, but so I was like, this is really cool.
I love
And then it
this.
made me think, oh my gosh, like, could we get Ange to do it? Like, could we set something up like this where
Yes. Yes.
like we
What
all
do you
do
think about the
something?
sound bath? Have you ever done one?
Uh, I've actually never done a sound bath. I have a girlfriend
So,
who does them. So, and again, I believe in like the healing
yeah.
of
So
music and all of that. So I'm very excited.
absolutely. I was a total skeptic. I
Of
thought it was
course.
all bullshit. This is what are you talking? And I'm in the wellness space. Complete whatever. Let me tell you, I now have tuning forks because of the sound. Like it, yeah, that's how much you talk about coming around on issues. I thought it was complete bullshit. There's like so much, you know me, I'm the data nerd, and so I can go deep dive on all this stuff. But like that's the reason why like they took away church bells because they didn't want people to get healed from like hearing the bells and like all of these other things that we're hearing. I know it's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you heard church bells? Like they don't have them anymore. But the healing that it does, okay, that I'm a big tuning fork person.
Well, look at like they talk about like dance music and like there's a certain BPM
Yeah.
that
Yep.
brings about like it increases your serotonin levels. It brings about
Vibrations.
those
Yes.
yes. And again, so
Yes.
sorry, it's just like
We will
there's
just blindfold Angie and oh my gosh, it's almost her birthday too.
it is. Wait, what's today?
Next Wednesday, next Friday.
22nd, 23rd, 23rd.
So Monday. Okay, well, we're going to do a shout out to Angie's birthday because we love
Happy
her so much.
birthday.
We love you. And come on the damn
To
show.
the baby.
Yeah, to the baby of all of
group.
us. Okay. Well, this was awesome. I think we talked about a whole lot of stuff.
I know. I love it.
Babes, we love you. We want to hear your opinion. We want to know what you're doing. Talk to us about tuning forks and sound baths and being aligned with core values.
Yeah.
Hit us up. Let us know.
We want to hear all of it.
Yes. And we'll see you later.
Yeah. See you soon.